Alright fighters, how are we doing? Now, there's some crucial mistakes that I see a lot of you combat sports athletes out there making when it comes to fight week in an attempt to do the rapid weight loss and the weight cutting strategy. Now, it don't really matter which sport you're in, whether you're a Muay Thai athlete, you're a boxer, MMA fighter, bare knuckle fighter, you're doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It don't matter because the principles are all the same. You're just looking at the type of weighing structure. But let's just take, for instance, this scenario here where we've got a day before weighing. There's a huge mistake I see a lot of fighters making. And the mistake I see a lot of fighters making is taking everything out way too early and taking everything out completely on the week of the fight. Now, the reason why this is a problem, the reason why this is done, is because fighters will actually mix up what the actual weight cut and rapid weight loss is. Now, I don't want to confuse you when I talk about this. What I'm actually trying to get at here is you're supposed to keep your body within a depleted state as little time as you possibly can. Now, what's going to happen is that the weight cut actually involves the dehydration methods, so the active and passive sweating methods, which are to lose weight fast and get the remaining weight off. But you want to try and make the biggest changes and try and get the majority of the weight off from basically adjusting and manipulating your diet. Now, what a lot of fighters will do is they will actually start the weight cut 3 to 4 weeks before the actual fucking week of the fight's actually started. Now, the reason why this is a problem is because what you've got to think about is you're already depleting your body early. How on earth are you going to lose that remaining weight? Now, what's going to happen is usually when you're actually doing the weight cut and the dehydration methods, your body is going to take fluid from the blood plasma, and what's going to happen is that sometimes you're going to start losing this weight on fight week. You're going to start sweating, but you're going to notice that you might actually start stopping to sweat. Now, the reason why this happens is because what is going on is your body's trying to protect itself, so it's reducing the blood flow and the sweat output in your skin. It's sending all that fluid to the brain and the organs, basically to stop you from dying and overheating. Basically, it's as simple as that. But what you actually want to do to combat this issue of taking everything out too early is this. So the first part of the weight cutting process is going to start around 10 days before. And what you're going to do is you're going to start off with moderate glycogen depletion. So typically when we consume a high carbohydrate diet, your body stores carbohydrates within your muscle cells and your liver as glycogen. So basically what this is multiple strings of glucose and carbs and attached to molecules of water. So typically one molecule of glycogen is around 3 molecules of water. So essentially to get rid of a big majority of weight. So if you're a big guy, let's say for example you're like 80 kilogram fighter, 90 kilogram, 75, whatever, you're one of the bigger guys, you're going to typically have a lot more water retention and obviously muscle glycogen. So what we would do is we start this process 10 days before, and we'd basically reduce your carbohydrate intake to around 150 grams. Now, it still sounds like a lot of carbs to some fighters, but it actually isn't as many as you think. But it's enough time when we do it 10 days before to actually get rid of the muscle glycogen, because it's going to take your body a considerable amount of days to actually deplete your muscle glycogen. So we're going to start off by doing that first, alright? Now what we're going to do is on the week of the fight, we're obviously going to take your body weight, see how much you've got to lose. Now, obviously sometimes we'll use a water load, so the one that I'd mainly use is either 75 mils per kilogram for 3 days and then 15 mil per kilogram, so fluid intake, overdrive, then restriction, or we use 100 mil per kilogram 3 days, then 15 mil, same principle. But what we're going to do is, and we're going to make these changes gradually. So what we've done first, we've done the moderate carb depletion. So now what we're going to do is on the week of the fight, starting from the Monday, so we're going to take into account the weigh-ins most likely on the Friday, fights on the Saturday. So what you're going to do is, you're going to first start off on the Monday by making these changes to your diet. So we'll go into a low volume diet, keeping the volume of the meals low and the weight of the foods. So you're going to take out your fibre in the diet. So you should have had a high fibre diet, fruits, vegetables, whole grain carbs, leading up to it. So you're going to take the fibre really low, so around 10 grams, to clear all the undigested food, because fibre's actually, your body don't actually digest the type of fibres, so it's going to stay within the gastrointestinal tract, the digestive system, can't get the words out. So you're going to take that out on Monday. What you're also going to do is, you're going to take the carbs down to around 60 to 75 grams, and you're going to, like I say, reduce the weight. So you're going to go rice cakes, you're going to go like bananas, mashed bananas are really good. You know, you're going to go for like ice cream, which is really good. Just keeping the weight of them really low. And you're going to do that, and you're going to keep the weight of the foods low. So butters, oils, salmon, fatty meat. So things where you can have a high amount of calories or a high amount of energy, but you only need a small amount of it. So calorie dense, energy dense foods. Now, what you're then going to do is you're not going to make this mistake that a lot of fighters make. A lot of fighters will take out the sodium completely and stop salting the foods. You don't want to do this because it's going to cause muscle cramps. It's actually going to have the opposite effect. So what you want to do is you want to wait till, let's say, for example, again, the weigh-in's on the Friday. You're taking the sodium out on around Tuesday, Wednesday. I'd probably take it on Wednesday, to be honest. And what you're going to notice is that if you do this, so first carb depletion 10 days out, then on the Monday you're going to take the fibre low, the carbs low, the food volume, and then you take the sodium out, your body's actually going to respond much better to the rapid weight loss and the weight cutting methods themselves. So you're going to do that, and then what you're going to do is you're going to do some sweating alongside, but you're going to save this sweating to the day before the weigh-in and the actual morning. So with the hot baths, the sauna sessions, the tail wraps, which methods you're going to use to actually do the weight cutting strategies. But what a lot of fighters will do is they'll make the mistake of doing the entire sweating throughout the week. So they'll put the sweat throughout and they'll go for a run, they'll do the cycling machine, skipping, hot bath, sauna, you know, whatever it is, you name it. And like I say, I'll go back to what I said before, your body will start to reduce your sweat output. So you want to keep your diet high in volume throughout the entire camp. You want to make the carb depletion changes 10 days out, and then you want to make them changes that I've just mentioned to your diet on the Monday. You take out the sodium 2 to 3 days before the fat, and then you do the sweating the day before on the morning of the weigh. The only thing you've got to make sure you're doing is you're tracking that weight religiously on fight week. Check in the morning, check in the afternoon, and check you go for bed. I see so many fighters and they go, oh, let's just see what we wake up tomorrow. Let's just hope for the best. But whatever you can't track, you can't measure. So if you actually are aware of the change that you're making, you're tracking your weight morning, afternoon and night, you've got a pretty good idea of where your body's at, and then you're going to know what you need to do the next day. And it really is as simple as that. And that is how you avoid them stupid mistakes of doing a weight cut and how you actually make the weight properly. Now, if you like this information and you want some more nutrition and diet tips for combat sports, don't forget to give your fucking Uncle Finny a bloody subscribe to the channel. But for now, I'm gonna fucking go, and you can have a very nice day, and I hope this information has been helpful. So take care.